with an idea on how to break out of the matrix and create your own matrix. And
why would you want to
we narrowed down the biggest issue for all people who got pulled into this matrix how many hundreds of years ago. The biggest problem for them, and I'll continue right now.
Thank you for like following up, and I appreciate it. Addiction and how to break it. So addiction is a spirit. It is something that lives within us and is awakened and invoked when we take certain substances. You know, the chemical reaction in our brain that's like, oh my gosh, all this dopamine, this is amazing, this is euphoric, I need more. And that being right there, that entity that dwells within us and becomes awakened, it gets stronger and stronger the more that we give into it. And it slowly can eat away at the logical part of our minds that is like, actually, I'm okay, I'm content with where I'm at. I have levels of, I can regulate my emotions so that even if I have this urge, I can regulate it. But when you have an addiction, it's very difficult to regulate your emotions.
His problem for them was losing their language. So all the people who lost their language...
I'm gonna answer it, like, the voice notes, bro, keep going. I know that we're on, like, 2 trains of thoughts, but I'm gonna look at and just listen to them thoroughly and reply back to them. But yeah, when it comes to breaking addictions, the most important thing is to acknowledge that it all starts with your emotions, energy and motion. And when you feel that trigger of, I need to do this because that's how I regulate my emotions, yet you know that's an unhealthy coping mechanism, you have to have a backup immediately. Even for me, using light language to kind of within my own brain program and say, hey, when you feel this triggered emotional state that awakens my addictive tendencies, I want you to direct that energy to this more peaceful, regulated state of mind where I'm able to clear my head without using substances or external means.
And it lost their language. They now had to speak a new language. And now basically everything that we know today is based off of this language or this coding or this algorithm. This system of language and letters and numbers, it's all based off of somebody else's. Like, we had our own way back in the day. So when you started speaking in this light language, I was like, yo, this is kind of deep, because she might be onto something. She might be figuring out a way to create, like, your own language, which ultimately will be a means of creating your own matrix. So I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but that is what channeled through me. And I brought this to my boy's attention, and he agreed, and he's been working on, like, creating his own programming and his own system of language and numbers and stuff. But yeah, man.
We all do have these, like, innate, like, just even the way that we're created, how every fingerprint is different. Our voices, they resonate differently. We have a language within us already, and I see it as like your string of reality. Like, this is your piece of the matrix, which is totally yours to fully express. And so that's a really cool thing when we're able to take that energy and release it into the world and communicate from this place of just pure truth. And it resonates so deeply. Because it resonates so deeply with you, it rings true to those around you that are also on a similar resonance. And you're right, like, this is, I've had dreams. I think that we're going to see more and more people talk in a dialect that doesn't have an interpretation, but everybody can understand it on a deeper level. So, yeah. There's that. I fucking love people. Gosh. You know why? Because everything that I see in my reality that I use on a daily basis involves more than one person, more than just me. It involves many people who I don't even know. Like, this Disney pen, first off, I've never gone to Disney before, so somebody gave me this. I think my sister and brother gave me this. I don't know who made this pen. I don't know who designed this pen. I don't know who printed on the pen. I don't know who put the ink in the pen. I don't know where, this says Walt Disney. I don't know where all of these individual elements came. I don't know who harvested the plastic that was used to, or put this little bow on, where these items, these things were sourced. But I can guarantee you that a person had something to do with every single bit of this being created. And so we're all beautifully connected in some way or another. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that you and I and every other being out there knows this. And there's really only you and I, like, if we really think about it. You, I, and us, because there are many of us. And that's really it, my friend. That's it. Like, I don't know what else you wanted me to say in this video. Like, I'm just sharing a snippet of my life, hoping that it helps somebody out there because I feel led to do so. And if it does, great! Amazing! I've done my job, and I can rest easy knowing. So, yeah. Life is amazing. Shout out beautiful soul, which I'm gonna shout out your tag real fast there. I hope that's okay, Mr. Eternal. What a wonderful name. Like, literally, it's a good time to be alive. Alright. Oh, okay. I wanna listen to what else Mr. Eternal has, and I wanna close it.
Because it's probably based on intention, and it's based.
He's right. It is based on intention. What is intention?
And when you put out a certain intention or a certain energy, it's easily comprehensible. I mean, just think about any engagements you may have had with somebody of a different language. You might not be able to literally understand verbatim what that person is saying, but you might get the gist. You might get the point through their energy or through their intention of what they're saying. So, yeah, I definitely think at one point, once we ascend spiritually and mentally,
we have already
we will get to a point where we don't even need a real language. It's kind of like, I'm gonna send this in the next message because I'm kind of running out of time right now.
My goodness, Mr. Eternal, Sam, you really killing it out here. I'm so happy I decided to just randomly be like, yeah, we need to record right now, and as this beautiful soul hit that followed up with a Instagram chat that started in October today. So yeah, I think that is pretty cool, and he is right. Now I think we've pretty much, I don't want to say we've reached the point of ascension that we're gonna reach at this point. Like, let's stop hoping that we're gonna keep going further. In this moment right now, we've reached peak ascension. That's it. We don't have to wait for a higher level and a higher level and a higher level. Naturally, because I say we've reached peak ascension, if you don't feel like we have, then that's okay. Our physical being may be taking a little bit of time to fully attune to this, but we have actually reached peak ascension many times, and we are still at peak. Now, I think it takes a little while for us to realize this, but once you realize that we've already reached peak, then great, we can start building on this foundation. It's set, it's done, we're there. What does that look like, honestly, for each soul here on Earth? What intentions have to be set for us to build in this understanding that we are already awakened and aware? I think there's a lot of intentions that we tend to hide as humans because we're ashamed of them, and those need to come out in the dark. They need to come out from the dark and be seen for what they are. And trust me, we all have them. So that shame is going to be turned into compassion. And that's the important part, because the compassion and the willingness to acknowledge that these hidden parts of ourselves are actually holding us back because of the shame, the guilt that we feel, that we've had sinful intentions in our minds or expressed them in some way, is something humiliating that each human has to acknowledge. And that's the beauty of humankind, because we've all suffered shame. We've all felt to some extent embarrassed or scared to let the world see who we are fully, and the vulnerability of admitting that, oh, maybe we've made a mistake, or maybe I, did something really gross, or I thought something really gross. And this was, we need to be honest with these things. You can't hide them if we're going to a universal language that is the basis of your soul, because a part of your soul holds those gross parts that our human body can express. So, and human body can express. Gosh, Esther, that sounds gross. Stop it. My God, Esther. Anyways. Yeah, God already knows what you've done. God already knows what you've thought about. And if you don't be honest with the connections within your life of the intentions that you have, if you're using somebody in some way for some motive that you have, then be honest with them. Be like, hey, I'm just using you for free therapy. Honestly, just... Now you guys all know! Hopefully this is also free therapy for you, because the crazy thing is, the way that it works with mirror receptors in our brain, the reflection that humanity shows to each other is pretty cool, and I think it will really help us heal a lot if we just allow ourselves to express these inner parts of ourselves. Now, I had no idea where I was going with this video, to be honest, but this is what's coming through, so don't be ashamed to express all of your intentions more honestly, openly, and simply. Plainly speak your mind. And when it comes to filters, and when it comes to the society that we live in, where we like to cancel things, and we really think about this, you realize that this is the Matrix squeezing us to the point where we have to leave it. It's like as if some people are just on their phones scrolling, until eventually the things that they're seeing as they scroll are just so honestly disturbing that it forces them to turn off their phone, put it down, burn it, throw it off a cliff, recycle it responsibly, and maybe make a robot out of the pieces that helps them just release. You don't need it. Yeah. So it's time that we realize that it's okay. It's okay to feel shame and pain and some of these sucky feelings that come with being human, and know that everybody feels them. Communicate them, because I promise you, when you actually share your weaknesses, when you're aware that I really struggle with this addiction, or I really struggle with this thought pattern, I really struggle with whatever it is I'm ashamed about. If you are able to communicate that to others, honestly, openly, and just out plain simple, people will respect you. They will not feel the need to humiliate you, because what I've learned, the more you try to push yourself up, guess what? The more you try to boost your ego and be like, yeah, I do this and this and this. We know who you are. You are insecure, my friend. I mean, we've all been there. And guess what? People just want to tear you down. They're like, yeah, okay, that's really cool that you're doing all that. I'm going to look for something wrong because you seem to pose yourself as Mr. Perfect. And that's disturbing. And I don't think that's very approachable or relatable. So I need to find a way to relate with you. And therefore, I need to find your flaws. As humans, we just do this. Kids take off your masks because they don't want to see some fake person that's trying to pretend to be a responsible adult. They want to see the child that is underneath it because they don't want to feel alone. They don't want to think that one day they're not going to be a child anymore. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I can't speak for all the kids out there. Anyways, yeah, that's the video for today. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much again. I really hope that it's okay, Mr. Eternal, that I, kind of shared your voice notes. I'll ask you before I post. So thumbs up if this is good. And thank you so much for watching and just being the beautiful soul that you are. Keep doing you. Keep being true. See you in the next video. God bless and namaste.